Welcome everyone to the Lord Shank Stock Car Series. We are here for the Skidmark 400 2026 edition. Hope you all enjoyed the qualifying session as we are now set for the race. Now I've made a quick change to the track. Here's the photo of it. If you see that start-finish line straight there, I have moved it back by a straight piece. I did it because I had a feeling with the way that we had it, we weren't going to have too much passing. So I've elongated it a little bit to give drivers more of a chance to be able to pass on this track. Now, without further ado, let's take a look at the field. One thing that I forgot to mention that I'll insert right here is that we have the track safety crew, Lord Shank patented track safety crew. So we have 3 tow trucks, an ambulance, and a jet fire vehicle. It's like a fire truck. So we've decided to install these after the numerous wrecks we had last season, especially those involving the incidents at Ring Raceway that caused a number of cars to go flying off and barrel rolling. And especially Ronald McSpladge is very hard hit. He had that huge one where he smashed into the wall. I think that was at Rockingham. But yeah, so these are the updated tracks. And anyways, let's now get into showing off the field. And here is your field. And as you can see, Lewis Nips has the pole. Last place is again Harry Hearn. Not too good for him. But we got Coffee Titan second, Blazin third, Jimbo Rockford in fourth, fifth is Terry Labonte, and sixth is Greg Biffle. And 2 drivers here being Crazy Ruby, Coffee Tart, and Jimbo Rockford are our former race winners. They both have won here on this track before. So they'll be drivers to look out for, but there's also the chance we may have any new finishes. So take a look at the field while you can, because segment 1 is ready to hop out on the field and onto the track so we can get underway for some racing. And here is our first segment. On the front row is Lewis Nips. Next to him is Ego, who won the Lord Shank 500. He's looking to get another win today. In the second row, that is Lewis M. Believe it or not, says his name on the car. Chef Squid is next to him. And in that back row, that is Gaza and Gale Force. So there's 2 lots of teammates in this segment, and the front row is led by 2 independents. Let's see how we go for the first lap. Lewis Nips still leads. Not much has changed other than Lewis M and Chef Squid have swapped sides. Let's see how they go for the second lap. No positions change, so let's see if Ego can get around Lewis Nips for the third lap because he's running out of chances. Ego, no! Ego from the HFA Motor Club is our first DNF of the day. He climbs the wall, and Lewis M and Gale Force make sure he does not get back on his wheels. He's on his side, and you know the rules. If you're on your side, you are out. Unfortunately, not able to get back on his wheels. That is a tough day for Ego. They knew that he was a threat from the very beginning, and they had to get rid of him. That really sucks to see it for Ego, and he'll be our first car to meet the tow truck for this race. So take a look, there is our tow truck, he's towing him away. It really hurts to be Ego, and he'll get last place for this race, unfortunately. Now for the fourth and final lap, Chef Squid is on the front row. Let's see if he can get around Lewis Nips and take the victory. And now Chef Squid is out. Oh my. Chef Squid gets bodied by the cars around him. His own teammate lets him ride the hood of him, and he goes flying up and over. That costs Lewis M as well, position higher than fourth, I guess. But, that was Lewis M's own doing because he decided to help wreck his own teammate. Oh man, HSL won't be too happy about that. Chef Squid for sure won't be too happy about that. And look at that, he's going to meet the tow truck. Such a good car. That car is capable of winning. But Chef Squid's just that type of guy. And sometimes he also has some teammates that are just that type of guy. Lewis, it's a bit hard for Chef Squid to drive when Lewis M's the only driver of his own team. Sometimes is how he acts. HSL know what I mean. But congratulations to Lewip Nips, who will go on to the finals. Gaza and Gale Force will both have to fight it out to see if they can make it in. And Lewis M, believe it or not, says his name on the car, will have to settle for fourth. I don't believe he'll get to the finals because doing a fourth race all the way up to the finals will be a generational run, especially to win it after that. But it'll be maybe next time for Lewis M. He'll have to count his hopes in for Bristol or maybe even Las Vegas or anything coming up soon. Alright, time for segment 2. On our front row is Coffee Tart. She has won here before. She won last year's mini-season version. Next to her is Cody Myers. Surprising qualifying run for him, but unsurprising how fast his car is. He's very good. Still, sale of his team is up. Comment if you want to know the details. Behind them is Julius Harris Sr. and Storm Trooperson. And in that back row, that is Puff and last season's champion, Mark Martin. Let's see how they go for the first lap. Not much has changed for the second lap, other than the fact that Julius Sr. and Mark Martin have switched places. Oh, Cody Myers. Cody Myers, for Myers Brothers Racing, crashes out. He gets lifted up on top of another car and turned over thanks to Mark Martin. That is not a good way for his race to end here. He was hoping for another good points finish today. And looks like he's being pulled right back down to mediocrity. There's the picture of his car flipped up. Mark Martin pushing up against him. And there is the Lordshank tow truck there to tow him away. It is a very sad day for the Myers Brothers Racing team. And on our front row for our third lap, that is Coffee Tart and Storm Trooperson. And now Storm Trooperson crashes as we have another caution on the track today. Look at that, practically was the same fate as Cody. Just puffed there. Made sure he didn't not get back onto his wheels, and made sure he went up and over onto Julius Sr. So we continue it there. There's the photo of the car. It is a tough day for Storm Trooperson. He's in quite a fast car. Previous Lordshank 500 winner. And there is the tow truck taking him away. He'll be very disappointed. For our final lap, it'll be Coffee Tart and Mark Martin on the front row, with Puff and Julius Sr. behind them. And just like that, Coffee Tart will go on to the finals. She will compete to get her third ever win. Mark Martin will rally for second. Puff will be in third, and Julius Sr. will be in fourth. A great showing from two of our veterans there today. Mark Martin, thankfully, gets up to second. That's going to give him a good run because He really needs it to get his season properly kicked off. So that is very good for him. And on to the next segment. Alright, time for our third segment. On our front row is Blaze Thunderstruck. I finally got the thunder sound effect back. Next to him, that is Paul Turner. And on that second row, that is Paul Turner's satellite teammate and part-time car owner, Lord Shank. That's me. Next to Lord Shank is John for Union Motorsports. That is Blaze's teammate. And in that back row, that is Matthew Harding and Jeff Johnson. Let's see how they go for the first lap. Alright, not much has changed other than Lord Shank falling back. Let's see if Blaze can hold on to the lead for the second lap. Blaze and Paul Turner still fighting for the lead. Onto the third lap. Let's see if Paul can get around Blaze. Blaze has led the entire way. As we're now onto the final lap, let's see if Paul or anyone else can still get around him. And Blaze Thunderstruck will win that segment, which means he will automatically now go to the finals. That is good news for Blaze Thunderstruck. Paul Turner doing a very interesting run there, fighting for the lead the entire way. He gets second, and Jeff Johnson there will able to maintain himself for third. Matthew Harding doing quite decent there, will be in fourth. John and Lord Shank drop back. Unfortunately, neither of those cars able to hold on all the best. John, because his car's old, bent axle, and all that, and Lord Shank, because purely he's probably just slow, but also that car got thrown around in the HSL Nitro series, so to be expected. That car's on its last legs as well. It'll be retired at the end of the season either way, and replaced with the car that will come back from the season that has just gotten underway, which is great. That one's just gotten underway. Watch the Speed Weeks video. That's good. Few of the drivers that were there have come back for the race, like Blaze, Gavin, Donald, Garza, Jimbo Rockford, and Burt Buzzard, and Harry Hoon, and all that, all back. Anyways, on to the fourth segment. Now for segment 4, on our front row is Jimbo Rockford. Next to him, I called him Jeremy. It's not Jeremy. That's Johnny Rotten. In that second row, that is the Monte Carlo stock of Jack Warren for Miller Motorsports. Next to him, another circle tracker. That is Po Boy. And in that back row, that's Ricardo, Roberto, and Randy Tooth Fairy Jr. Great to see Randy back. And it's great to see Jack Warren back as well. I mean, I think he made Lord Shank 500 off the top of my head. Anyways, let's see how they go for the first lap. Into the second lap now. Johnny Rotten still holding on to second. Jimbo still holding on to the lead. Po Boy's moved up. Let's see if they can make any moves on the second lap. Oh, when Johnny Rotten and Jack Warren, their races end early. Both of them climbing the wall on the side and being mounted. Both of them are stocks. They are both out of the race. It's a tough way for Johnny Rotten's debut to end. And it's a tough way for Jack Warren's race to end as well. And there's the photos of their cars. And there is the Lord Shank tow truck. There's the second one. We got 3 of them. So that's good. And on to the third lap. It'll be Jimbo and Po Boy now on the front row. For the final lap, Jimbo still has the lead. Po Boy will be next to him. Let's see if Po Boy will be able to get around Jimbo onto the final lap. Jimbo will take the win for that one there. Po Boy will get second, Ricardo Roberto third, and the stock of Rainy Tip Ferret Jr. will take fourth place. Only 4 cars finished this segment as we've lost Jack Warren and Johnny Rotten. Both of those guys will be allocated to the back with all of those points there. And the 5th segment will be getting ready for the gates right now. For segment 5 on our front row, that is Terry Labonte, and next to him is Viking King 2005. In that second row, that is Gavin McSplage. He's finally here. Next to him is Crazy Ruby. In that back row, it is Stephen Flo and Jeff Bodine. Let's see how we go for the first lap. Terry and Viking King still hold the lead for the second lap. Let's see if any of the other cars can get around them. Still, no one has been able to get around our 2 leaders as we are on to the third lap. On our 4th and final lap here now, let's see if Terry Labonte can do the clean sweep as no one's been able to get by him. Terry Labonte takes it for the Catalina wine mixers for the 5th segment. Viking King will hold on to an impressive second for him. That's great for Arlen's team there. Gavin McSplage will hold on to 3rd. Thank goodness he doesn't DNF. Crazy Ruby, unfortunately, will get 4th. Stephen Flo and Jeff Bodine not able to move up as much as what they would have hoped. Jeff Bodine, unfortunately, falling off the track there. So Terry Labonte will move on to the finals, and everyone else will move on to their respective placement races. And the 6th and final segment is now ready. Let's go see them at the start gate. Now it's time for our 6th and final segment of the day before our placement races. Up on that front row, that is Greg Biffle, an impressive qualifying for him. Next to him is the 1 car of Gator McCluskey. And in that second row, that is Terry Silver with Eckhard Way right next to him. And in that back row, that is Julian and Harry Hoon. Some say he has to be convinced to drive his car with copious amounts of money and enough shelter to last him for the entire season. All you and I know him as is Harry Hoon. Let's see how they go for the first lap. Greg Biffle drops back and Gator inherits the lead for the second lap. Let's see if Eckhard can get around Gator. Gator still has the lead while Greg Biffle drops back another position. Let's see if he can still hold on to the lead as we head into our third lap. For our final lap, Eckhard now has the lead. Let's see if he can hold on to it and get the win. Eckhard does win it. Eckhard Way does, but Greg Biffle goes over. Gator McCluskey able to keep a hold of second, but Greg Biffle goes over and stalls out Julian. There's the picture of his car tipped up on its lid. And there is him being towed away by the Lord Shank tow truck. We almost made it to the end without a crash in that segment, but Eckhard Way will move on to the finals to contend for his second ever win Gator McCluskey will have to race his way in via the seconds race. Terry Silver will get third. Harry Hoon gets fourth. And Julian gets fifth. That is the end of our segment racing. So we will have to move on to our placement races. I believe we'll be starting off with our sixth segment. For our sixth race, it is Lord Shank and Jeff Bodine who will race it out to make it to the fifth race. Into their second and final lap. Let's see who will move on. Now it's time for our fifth race. That is John, Stephen Flo, Julian, and Jeff Bodine. Stephen Flo will now have the lead for their second and final lap. Let's see if he gets to move on to the fourth race. Alright, fourth race time. On our front row, that is Lewis M. and Julius Sr. There's Matthew Harding and Randy. And Crazy Ruby and Harry Hoon are in that one. Stephen Flo too. On to their second lap. Stephen Flo are going to go flying off the track. I saw that. Now it's time for our thirds race with Gale, Puff, Jeff Johnson, Ricardo Roberto, Gavin, Terry Silver, and Matthew Harding. Matthew going flying off the track. Right there. Gale 4 still holding on to the lead. They don't do overtime in these segments. It's only the finals and the normal segments. So for the second lap, Gale Force will win it and move on to the seconds. Now time for the seconds race with Jimbo, Mark Martin, Paul Turner, Po Boy, Viking King. Oh! Hold on. Huge crash there. Gator McCluskey is around there. Huge crash. Gale Force on her lid. Oh, head on. That was like a head on hit into that. Oh, more of into the driver's side door. Oh, Gale Force. She doesn't even look to have her window net down from what we can see. That is not a good one at all. And this will be the first time we're cracking the notice. The ambulance has come, and they've put Gale Force into the back of the ambulance. Team owner Cut Rock Creek, most likely going to go out and see her, see how she's doing. Apparently they're saying she's responding, which is brilliant. But yeah, that's a really, really hard hit to that side door of hers. We'll have to figure something out in the next few races to stop cars from doing that. For this, and we'll have to move on to the second lap. Mark Martin leading that one as they're getting ready for the finals. See who'll move on to the final segment. And it will be Garza moving on. Alright, it is now finals time. On our front row, that is Jimbo Rockford and Lewis Nips. Eckhard Way and Garza in that second row. Behind them, that is Blaze Thunderstruck and the 5 car of Terry Labonte. And Coffee Tart will start out in last place. A number of drivers, all but one of them, two of them actually, have won a race in our series. So let's see how they go for the first lap. Oh, Blaze! That is exactly right. Drone camera me. Blaze! No! Another hard crash for Blaze. Very similar to the one that Gale Force had just been through. Eerily similar. He's going to have to hop into the ambulance again. Ambulance coming out. Another potentially injured driver. This time it's Blaze Thunderstruck. Very hard hit for him. And I believe that's like his second ever finals he's made it into, and he's just taken a hard hit. Rockingham is a track I'm probably not going to keep on the schedule due to our lack of passing and also some of these crashes we're having here. So this might be our last time racing here in the series. But Blaze being towed away, and then he's also in the ambulance too. As we now get ready for our next lap. Lewis Nips now with the lead. Let's see if he can hold on. Lewis Nips still has the lead on to lap 3. No one able to pass them. Let's see if they can do it. This is it, everyone. This is the final lap. Jimbo Rockford has the lead. Let's see if Lewis Nips can get around him. It'll be the second win for both of these drivers. And Lewis Nips will win it. Oh, there's a crash there from Garza, but Lewis Nips has won it. Coffee Tart will get second over Jimbo Rockford. Lewis Nips will claim his second ever win. He won the Freedom 500 before, which will be our next race at Bristol Motor Speedway. And Coffee Tart will get second place, the defending winner from last year's run. And Jimbo Rockford, who's also won here the first time. So Lewis Nips most likely will be our last ever winner here, as we will probably move on from Rockingham after this. And I believe I'm just getting word. We're going to pull up the replay, but I'm just getting word that Garza still hasn't hopped out of his car. You see that he just nailed that wall head on. And we're getting word that he hasn't hopped out of his car yet. He seems to be... Garza seems to be really hurt here, guys. We got the ambulance there. He doesn't look to be okay. He's taken a head-on hit to that wall. He's just come back from Speed Weeks with the HSL series. That Series A is running full-time as well, and has had marginally more success there. And he's just come and nailed the wall high speed here. Normally I would get a hold of Cut Rocker, but I don't think I can. He's currently dealing with gale force. It just had the other hard hit on that same section of wall there. But Garza seems to be more hurt here. We got absolutely no update on his condition or anything like that. They're basically grabbing out the boards to block off anyone seeing, and they're getting him out of that car. They're gonna have to cut him out of that. We'll have to get Mark for an update on Garza's condition. We hope it's not the worst that's happened. Yeah, we hope it's not the worst. But that's by far one of the worst crashes I've ever seen. He's just gone head on into that wall. It's always the scariest. And here is a look at the field. Lewis Nips, your race winner, second win on record. Coffee Tart will get second place. Jimbo Rockford third. Jimbo so far doing really well this season. Eckhart and Terry Labonte will stick around there. Garza will be credited with that. I believe that is 6th place. Yeah, 6th place finishing position. Still no update on Garza. No update at all from that team. Ego will get last place, which is unfortunate for him. And Chef Squid will get second last. Not too good for him at all. Some good showings from Mark Martin, Po Boy. Drivers like Terry Silver, Paul Turner, Viking King did well. Here is a look at our points. Jimbo Rockford will inherit the points lead. 61 points to his name. Gator McCluskey will be second. 4th place is Blaze Thunderstruck. Third. 4th is Gale Force. 5th is Ricardo Roberto. 6th, Jeff Bodine. 7th is Garza. 8th is Mark Martin. 9th is Ego. And 10th is Lewis Nips, who's just won this. Tom Tucker, surprisingly, just outside of the top 10. And it goes all the way down to about 24th. I thought it was 25, but I completely forgot that driver name and points are up at the top. Which is awesome. Last place is Tyler Bloodfish, which is incredible. Starting off where he basically was last season, all the way down at the bottom of the points. He's got a long way to make up for the top. Lord Shank there About in the middle, around Lucky Jackson, Terry Silver sticking car pile, Gavin McSplage, Bear Mackay wanting to probably do better than what he is doing right now. Other than that, take a good look at all of these drivers in the points. If you notice any errors, let me know. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see what Cut Rocker says what's happened to Gaza. And if Gaza is okay, because we won't be able to have that. We're not like a red line derby sanctioned league where we got all this information or anything. We can't do that at all. So, hope you enjoyed the video, and you have a good rest of your day, everyone. Goodbye. And prayers for Gaza.